Hi, this is Gina with Tarot and Time in Kent, Connecticut, and I'm here to give you a tarot reading for the month of November. So welcome to November. The sun is in Scorpio until about the 21st of November when it will enter the sign of Sagittarius. And I love November because I am a Sagittarius. So in honor of that, I chose for pile number one, the Queen of Wands. She is the Queen of Fire. She is a Sagittarius queen, and I matched her with cinnamon oil, nice and spicy oil. Pile number two, we have the Queen of Cups, Queen of Water. Isn't she beautiful? This is from the Ethereal Visions deck that we stock here. And I matched her with juniper berry oil. I love the smell of that. And for pile number three, we have the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Earth. Isn't she lovely? And I've matched her with sandalwood oil. So go ahead and choose your pile, and then I'll get started. Now I'm using a few different decks that we stock here, and I will show them to you as we go along. And so let's see what we have ahead. Now, Mercury, the planet of communication, is going to come out of retrograde right in time for the election. And so that should be interesting. So we're going to come into the final bend here of 2020, which I'm sure we're all looking forward to. So let's see what we've got going on for pile number one. All right, I'm using this beautiful new deck called the Herbal Crafter's Tarot. It's a really nice deck. I just started working with it. We have it stocked here. And so we're starting off with the Wheel of Fortune, the Kitchen Garden. So it's funny because the Wheel of Fortune is actually a Sagittarius card of forward movement. It's also a card of surrender because we're on that wheel, and we, just like we're on this planet, we're here till we're here. We're here until we're not here. But this is beautiful because it's a kitchen garden, and so there's all the plants to be self-sufficient in cooking. It's so beautiful, and it's so much healthier for us to be eating plants freshly picked, right? Energy's stronger, the vitamins are more available. And so there we are, moving forward quickly. Queen of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune really pair well together, both that fire energy. And we've got the Six of Cups here. This is from the Relative Tarot deck. This is from my private collection. I just love this deck. It's by Carrie Paris. And so Six of Cups, they look like they're playing pretend wedding, right? So there's a lot of love going on for you, a lot of, it feels very like from your childhood, almost people from your past that you felt a real connection with, and gathering together with them. I know that's hard right now, we're so limited, but energetically reaching out to them. Six is often a card of movement, of maybe, like I would say if we weren't in a pandemic, like go and visit some old friends, but maybe you can just reach out and emotionally connect with them. This is definitely a card of emotional connection. And we didn't really talk about cinnamon oil yet, but I'm just going to read you a couple things about it. So it's called the oil of sexual harmony, and it supports the reproductive system, and it assists people in accepting their body and embracing their own attractiveness. It dispels fear of rejection and nurtures healthy sexuality. And it rekindles sexual energies when there's been repression, trauma, or abuse. And this card really feels like a rekindling of something that was going on previously. It's an oil that helps to make you feel safe. And let's see, I just really feel the spark of cinnamon. It just feels like such fire energy. So let's see what else comes up next. We have, this is from the Relative Tarot. They have oracle cards in the set also, and this one's called Balancing Act. She's balancing on a champagne bottle. Looks like she's definitely having a great time, but how long can it remain like this, right? So Queen of Wands, she's fun. She wants to get out and have a good time. She's a traveler. But are you overextending yourself? Are you going to be able to keep this up? Now we have the Six of Swords, another card of forward movement. And the Lovers. So the Lovers really is feeling very similar with this card here, right? So as much as the Lovers is about relationships, sorry about that, it's also a card about choices. The Lovers is ruled by Gemini, right? So we know how relationships can impact our life when we jump right into something without thinking about it, kind of caught up in the party. We can really make or break our wellness. So let's be really careful about your decisions. As tempting as it can be, take a breath, make sure that you're making the right decision. Make sure you're looking at the full picture. Now let's see what else we've got here for pile number 1. We have the Five of Cups. So again, being careful about what we choose. This is about more feeling like past choices that didn't work out so well, being caught up in those when really there's still 2 cups back here waiting for you. We've got the Three of Fire, calendula. What a beautiful flower. Love it. So I've had it in some bath mixes from Twin Star Herbal that we actually stock. And it's like such a feeling of just nurturing yourself when you can bathe in these beautiful flowers. It's also great in tea, but the color is just so vibrant. It feels like fire energy just in its color, right? So really nurturing yourself, thinking about where you want to go. Three of Fire or Three of Wands is often traditionally depicted as like someone looking up off into the future. What's next? Where do you want to go? So by letting go of what's been going on, the losses that have happened, not bringing those forward, making peace with it so that you can, there's 2 cups still behind you. And I placed it right near this one, right? There's still love. There's still connection there for you. So let's see what else we have. We have the Eight of Visions, many moods. That's what it reminds me of. Be a little moody. There's the Weaver of Spells. This is actually the Knight of Wands, but it's a woman. Love it. Competition. Competition almost feels like a fiery kind of energy, right? Getting out there, competing, playing, they're playing like hockey or something. So really using that fire energy properly instead of just falling into this feels like rage and different levels of despair, of thinking about the past, of getting really emotional about what didn't work. I feel like there's a lot of fire energy going on here, using it properly, getting out and exercising, burning off some of the fire. And I just keep being drawn back to this balancing act card. Like, the party's fun until it's not. We have Elegance. What's cool about this deck is that Carrie had her fans send in pictures of their ancestors, and she made the deck with a lot of the photos that people sent in. We have the Seven of Swords, kind of a tiptoeing around, almost like this is like the family crest up here. And there's a tiptoeing around it. There's the Five of Swords. We've got the Chariot. So there's a lot of choices to be made. Not everybody is going to agree with your choices. Some people are going to be concerned about the choices that you're making. Try to make a clear decision. Stick with your decision once it's made, but don't jump into making it. And then you can take on the confidence level of this person here, the Elegance card. He's confident. He's made his decisions. He sticks by them. So don't rush into it. Feel it out. but don't make your decisions based on what other people think, or especially what your family thinks that you should do. Here's the Fool, right? So again, taking the time, not jumping right in, but also not being afraid to, the Fool follows his higher power, right? The voice of his higher power leads him. So not to be afraid to do what's authentically you, but also making sure that you're making choices that really work for you. Page of Swords. And not just, it's like he's a performer, right? So there's a tendency to put on a show here, is what I'm getting. I've got a couple cards here, like a showman, right? Yeah, and the show's fun, and the attention from putting on a show is fun, but I don't think that's going to long-term feed you that fire energy that you need. It needs to come about from a different way of getting attention. And here's the Magician. So you have all the elements available to you, right? The Magician has all 4 elements. He knows he's a master of them all. This is actually a Scorpio card, right? And he's capable of everything and anything. So anything that you want to do, we have the Magician and the Fool. The things that you want to do that are really authentic to you are available for you this month. Sagittarius is a card of month of forward movement, but we have to go through Scorpio, and Scorpio is all about transformation, right? So let's transform what didn't work. It's easy to get depressed and down this season because the weather's changing, at least up here in New England, and we can often think about, we're going into the holiday season, all the things, we can get caught up in thinking what didn't work. So we need to bring some brightness in with the calendula. That's a great plant to work with. Really great time to be drinking teas, maybe having a little herbal garden in your home so you can bring some bright freshness, bright fresh energy in, and question how you're getting the attention that you're receiving. How are you getting that? Are you putting on a show? How can you harness the energy of your moods and that fire that's burning in you? How can you use it properly? I'm seeing a need for exercise, a need to get out and get some movement. And then there's going to be, I see relationships, and that doesn't just mean love relationships, but relationships are going to come up. They can definitely be from your childhood too, especially during the time that Scorpio is active. And so enjoy the sweetness of it and the memories that work, and reconnect with the people that you want to reconnect with, even if it's just an email or a phone call. But be careful of your choices, of what you really commit to. Take the time to really decide what it is that you want to do, and then stick to it with confidence, and know that you're capable of anything, and that others may not always agree with the things that you choose. But if you've sat with it, if you've done some meditations about it, we're into the full moon tomorrow night, really put out your feelings and your questions out to the universe. We're in Scorpio season, the veil is thin. Take advantage of this time to ask for help, ask for guidance, and then sit with it, process it, and then make your move. Okay, and I see a lot of fun being had, but I would question how much fun's being had, and if you're feeding yourself negative emotion. Sometimes negative attention is better than no attention. And so I would just take a look at that and just sit with that. All right, so that is pile number 1, cinnamon, and take a little sniff. Oh, so good. Okay. Now we're going to move on to pile number 2. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to, you can email us, tarotandtime@gmail.com. You can comment below. Yeah. All right, we're going to move on to Queen of Cups here, pile number 2. She is so lovely. I love the gold on these cards. We have juniper berry. Juniper berry reminds me of being out west. I'm just going to use my little book here to read to you a little bit about it. But I do know one thing about juniper berry is that it's used to help calm down fears, right? So it says it assists those who fear the dark or unknown aspects of themselves. It helps individuals to understand that those things they fear are intended to be their teachers. So instead of hiding from them, encourages you to learn and to face your fear. And dreams contain nighttime communications. Even nightmares can reveal unresolved fears and issues. And juniper berry offers courage and protection. Especially now, again, going back to being in Scorpio season, being close to this full moon on Halloween, the veil to other worlds is thin. And so it can be easy for us to have very active dreams at this time. And juniper berry is a great oil to be diffusing at night when you sleep, if you're feeling any fears or having any nightmares. But I also encourage you to really look at what dreams are coming up right now, because there's powerful information in there. And it'd be great if you could get a notebook and just kind of jot down what the dreams were before you forget them. Okay, so let's see what we have for pile 2. We're starting off strong with a major arcana, the Hermit. All right, so the Hermit is always searching for truth. And the Queen of Cups feels everything, right? She definitely, talk about like nightmares or really intense dreams. Queen of Cups seems like such a representation of that. Just water energy, and she feels everything. Oh, and speaking of cups, we have the Ace of Cups here. This is a card of satisfaction. It's a beautiful lotus flower. And another ace, Ace of Wands, Ace of Fire. Love that. So some new idea coming up, coming out, could be coming out of your dreams. There's the Page of Wands. She's looking good. She's ready to get out there. Something new, something young, something in its early stages. Martyrdom, being a martyr. Come back to that. And we've got the Tower. So in astrology, we know that Uranus is very active right now. The Tower is ruled by Uranus. And it is just breaking apart things that don't work. Breaking apart old structures. We're coming up on an election. And Uranus rules large groups of people. It rules rebellions. So there's a lot going on right now worldwide, and then also choosing pile number 2. So the Queen of Cups feeling all of that that's going on in the world. Feeling what's going on in your own world and feeling what's going on globally. Here's the Ten of Boons, traditionally called the Ten of Pentacles. They're inviting you in. Beautiful time there. You're being called in. Interesting, we got the Tower twice here. Tower upon the Tower. Different versions. This one is mushrooms. So mushrooms break down, right? They break things down. And that's the whole idea of the Tower. It breaks apart what, sometimes it's things like that we would never have broken down ourselves, or relationships that we may not have ever left, that they just get cleared out of our way. And as much as it feels hard at the time, in bigger picture later down the road, you realize what a gift it was. And so coming in next to the Martyr, really, you can't just keep giving yourself away. This is bringing change in. You're being invited in to change. This is frame of reference. And then we have the Moon. So it's interesting because the Queen of Cups, right? I think of it as a Cancer card, or even Pisces, but here's the moon, which rules Cancer, right? So it's that intuitive feelings. It's a little foggy, but it's that intuition. And now we're coming right into this full moon. And so you really want to pay attention to what's coming up, even if you're not like, it's not logical, it's emotional. The emotions that are coming up, they need to be paid attention to. There's messages that you will be receiving. There's a lot of satisfaction here, but there's also a lot of change. Here's the Four of Cups. The vision is on the Three of Cups, but then there's a fourth one kind of flying in on angel wings. There's something new coming in for you. Cottonwood, the Star. I promised myself if this card came up, I was going to tell you my cottonwood theory. It's just a silly story. Years ago, I had this cottonwood tree in my yard, and it would blow cotton everywhere. It drove me crazy. And so one night, I looked out at that tree, and I was mad. I was tired of cleaning all the cotton out of my window screens. And I just said, someday I am going to cut you down. First thing I can, I'm cutting you down. And the next day, that night, actually, a storm came through. And it knocked that tree down. And when I got up the next morning, I was like, what is going on? There's cotton everywhere. And my kids were so excited, they ran outside and they actually started sewing pillows and stuffing the pillows with all the cotton, but there's cotton everywhere. And I actually, it almost scared me a little because I felt like, wow, I had really wished and made a promise really to myself that I was going to cut that tree down, and it was taken down for me. And so this card is making me feel like you remember your power, remember that how you use your words are really powerful. Be careful how you use them. Be careful what you wish for. And then know that we all have that power, and we can use it towards properly getting what we want, right? And here's the Star. It comes in after the Tower. It's interesting that I placed it here next to the two Tower cards, because the Star comes in after everything's been broken apart, and it comes in to say that there's hope and that better days are coming and that you've been purged of what didn't work. And so there it is, cottonwood. There's lots of hope. There's everything that's being moved out of the way for you is a blessing. There's new opportunities being offered. You're being invited in. You're being invited to stop being a martyr. Think about how in your life you're playing that role. And there is more satisfaction for you available. It's being offered. It's a humor card. After two Tower cards, it's nice to see some humor. There's the Five of Pentacles. It's often referred to as like the poverty mentality card, right? And it almost actually really looks a little bit like the Hermit. They've got their light out, searching. But there's a change of values. There needs to be a change of what you value. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. The wheel is falling on the home. Most of us are home right now, a lot. It's also card number 10. And in numerology, when you break that down, that's actually a 1. So there's something new coming in, pointing at the home. It's the Two of Wands. Anytime a 2 shows up, we think about relationships, right? Who are we in relationship with? Who do we want to be in relationship? Not just love relationship, any kind of relationship working together, friendships, business partnership. He's holding this crystal ball, looks like the earth in his hand, thinking about where do I want to go? Who do I want to do this with? And coming right on top of the Wheel of Fortune that was pointing towards the home. So there could be a change of home or a change of who you're living with. Here's the Nine of Swords. There's all that worrying. But also I'm feeling like it's going back to the veil being thin right now, right? This is a chance for us to reach out to the people that we've loved that are past, to our ancestors. They're closer than ever to us. So ask for what you need, ask for the guidance that you're looking for, and really trust your emotions through this. Know that the hard times, any hard times that are coming up for you, are helping clear out of the way the outdated ideals that you have, the outdated things that aren't working for you anymore. The position of being a martyr is coming to a close. You're reflecting on how that plays out in your life. In retrospect, this will just be a moment in time. And right now, try to find the humor in it. Sometimes the tower, it's like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, all that's left to do is laugh. Reach out, connect with those that you want to connect with, trust your guts, and remember the power that you have. Remember the cottonwood theory, right? You are powerful. You can manifest what you want. You can ask and things can be cleared out of your way for you. And so that tower is actually a gift of clearing, and it's there to teach you that you have that power, that ability to ask and make changes and trust your guts and follow your intuition. Okay, and so we have juniper berry. This is a great oil to be diffusing. Even you can use it topically, always using a base oil. And again, Queen of Cups, trusting your intuitive gut feeling. It can guide you. All right, so that is pile number 2. And we will have weekly readings also. This one is just kind of an overview of the whole month, but we'll break it down week by week. So now we're going to move into pile number 3, Queen of Pentacles, and we are working with sandalwood. This is, we have 2 sandalwoods, Hawaiian, and then this one's from India. And, ooh, it's very strong and very grounding. Let me just see if anything jumps out here. Sandalwood is the oil of sacred devotion. It assists with all kinds of prayer, meditation, and spiritual worship. It's been used in ancient times to calm the mind and to commune with God or your higher power. It teaches spiritual devotion and spiritual sacrifice, and it helps quiet the mind. Who couldn't use that, right? And then the Queen of Pentacles is such a grounded queen. So starting right off, getting grounded. The Queen of Pentacles likes to be home. And so maybe using some sandalwood to just do some quiet meditations and really connect. It's a great time. It's starting to get cold here. 4 of Wands, being called in. They actually look like beautiful women in India. Very beautiful. 5 of Pentacles. So this came up before, a different version of it for the last pile. She's carrying a baby on her back, and she looks like she's going through some hard times. And 5 of Pentacles asks us to look at how we can change. How can we change some of our outdated beliefs, especially when it comes to beliefs about value, about money, about self-value. She's carrying this child, so she's putting the child first. But maybe it's time that you need to start making some time that where you can be able to put yourself first. Here's the 2 of Wands, looking out. All the possibilities and who you can be sharing your life with. It's the 4 of Swords. There's a delay. I'm seeing it more as naps needed. 5 of Pentacles coming in over 5 of Pentacles. I'm seeing a lot of you caring for other people, whether it be your children or for others. And as wonderful as that is, it's a one-way street. And there needs to be self-care. There needs to be naps. There needs to be downtime. Pentacles in general, ruled by Venus, right? Venus love, but it's also self-love. There's the Ace of Challenges, traditionally called the Ace of Swords. There needs to be some cutting away, and I'm seeing it more as in the duties that you do. It's time to delegate to others. Defense. Oracle card, very defensive. May have a partner who's defensive. But there needs to be changes with that. This is so funny because this marijuana card keeps coming up for me in all these readings I've been doing lately. This is a different version. This is cannabis, it's Justice card. So it's funny because this is the Constitution underneath the plants. I believe it was written on hemp. And hemp was so commonly used then, and now it's become so criminalized. And so this is justice. It's finally starting to be freed. And now is the time for you to start things that you didn't, I didn't think marijuana would be legal in my lifetime. Things that you didn't think were possible are now starting to be available. Justice is card number 11. Why do I feel like, yes, that's right. 11 is actually a 2 in numerology. So in relationship, it's time for the justice to prevail in your relationship. You're not just there to be a caregiver. There's the Queen of Cups. This is from the Tattoo Tarot deck. It's a fun one. Queen of Cups. I'm kind of almost seeing this as like, he's very strict and she is not. And there's justice coming in the middle of them. And I'm seeing it as, I know I picked up queens, so I'm relating to this from a feminine perspective, but I'm seeing like, it's almost like masculine versus feminine. And there's like this change that needs to come. That it's overdue. It's time for this change to happen. Hospitality. It's like toasting. So there's like a deal that can be made here. There's a new agreement that can be made. Here's bond. There's the relationship needs to be modified. It doesn't need, there's a bond there. I don't see that it needs to end. I see that there needs to be self-care. There needs to be more thought about the future. I'm feeling like there's going to be a lot of moms who pick this pile, who have children, that they're caring for them is full-time, especially now. And there is a need for more of a balance. There's a need in your relationship for you to make a new agreement about how it's going to work, so the burden is not all in one person, or at least the care of the children. If it's not children, it's the care of someone, some kind of care where it's taking energy from you. There's the 5 of Cups. We had this come up before. The attention is on the loss and not at the party waiting here behind you. It needs to be a renegotiation of how this relationship works. I have the 6 of Wands, so I see it going well and successful. I started wising up as I've gotten a little older, and I started buying myself flowers instead of waiting for my partner to do it or being irritated when he didn't do it. And I see you being held in, like you're actually handing out the flowers. But I think, thinking that if you pick this pile, buy yourself some flowers. Here's the Emperor. He's got these plans in front of him. I still see a new deal being made. He's a seeker of visions. He's the Knight of Cups. Poetic, romantic. There needs to be more romance, more heartfelt. Like I'm like hearing beautiful music from this, and instead like making a new deal with your partner of like letting them know how to nourish you, how you can nourish them, how you can nourish this relationship together. It's time for a new deal. but also you can't put it all on the other person. So there's a responsibility to step up and nurture yourself. Self-love. And then you'll find that they'll mimic it. As soon as they see you doing that for yourself, suddenly you're going to have more flowers and you're going to have more tenderness. So start setting the example of how you want to be treated. Here's the Queen of Swords. She's not going to take any nonsense. And the Four of Water, Four of Cups, mint. It's so refreshing. Right? It's something so simple. Mint is a common herb that people will grow, or you can just pick some up at the grocery store, but it's so refreshing. Put mint in your water, right? And it's like the water can be kind of boring by itself, right? And then we put a little mint in it and it sparks it right up. So I really think that you can really spark up your relationships here. If you're not in a relationship, you're in a relationship with yourself. And so it's time to renegotiate that relationship with yourself, how you're treating yourself, what you're accepting, where you're caught up in the past. It's time for a change. Things are not as they used to be. There's a new freedom here. You need to take naps when you need to, because you need to. And that's the best reason of all. Take it. And I'm getting like, don't take anybody, if someone puts you down for that, for self-care, they're wrong. And like the Queen of Swords here, she's not going to take any nonsense. She sticks up for herself and she values herself. So go get yourself some flowers, listen to some beautiful music, make some time for yourself, make some time to meet with your partner. Maybe a bottle of champagne would be a great thing. Maybe you could actually write out something like a new contract, a love contract that you both agree to, because your bond is strong and you're going to make new rules about how to nurture yourself and to let go of the things that didn't work, because there's a party waiting for you. Get some mint and enjoy the simple things in life and just sparked up a little. Accept help. And I think you can have a really great month. If you have sandalwood oil, it'd be a great oil to use. It's often put on third eye. Take a nap. Meditate for a while. Put your legs up the wall. Let yourself nurture yourself. Little things. That's how we do it. Okay? Thank you for joining me. I'll see you soon.